everybody, Tim again. I've got a little story for you. I was just sitting here thinking about it. I had a friend one time. His name was Dean. And Dean was quite a bit older than me. Dean was like 20 years older than me. And he's the type of guy who, I'll put it this way, he didn't exactly follow the letter of the law. I'll put it like that. Anyway, he had lived a life of a smuggler. Actually, he smuggled stuff out of Mexico, if you know what I mean. At any rate, he got me involved with him one time, and it was my fault. I mean, you know, when somebody asks you to do something, you can say no. You don't have to say yes. But nevertheless, I said yes to this particular job. I'll put it that way. So we had about 2 weeks before we went into Mexico, we set up for this, and we took a 100-gallon propane tank that went in the back of a pickup truck. It was for the truck. The truck ran on propane or gasoline, whichever one you decided to run it on. So the tank that Dean came up with was, it fit right up against the bed of the truck, and he had cut the end of it out with a chop saw and had welded inside of it and fabricated a small tank that he could put just enough propane in that if you opened the valve, you would think that the tank that had propane in it. It was a ploy to keep people from trying to get inside the tank, because we were planning on putting something inside the tank once we got to Mexico and bringing it back to the States, and at that point that's where I would make my money. Well, things didn't work out very good. We got the tank ready and got everything fixed up and hooked up and got it all in the back of the truck and had it all painted up, and it looked pretty good, and we headed out into Mexico. Dean was a bad alcoholic, and he was drunk from day one. And so I was the driver. We were driving his old pickup. And we crossed the border in Del Rio, Texas. We headed into Mexico, and it was a heck of a trip. I'd never been into Mexico, especially into that deep. We were headed to Durango, Mexico. And we went through Saltillo, and I remember all that place. It was just amazing to me to see this country like that, a third world country, Mexico. I had never seen anything like that. At any rate, Dean was so drunk that I drove the whole way. We get to Durango. We find the guy that we're going to use to put what we needed to put in that tank, and made the deal with him. And it took about 3 days, and we stayed at the El Presidente Motel in Durango. And Dean was so drunk the whole time, so sick, I mean, he wouldn't even come out of his room hardly. It was really pretty bad, because I was I was sat there by myself in Durango. I couldn't speak Spanish, and I was going out and getting my food during the day, and then going back to that room at night and watching him drink until, he was just bad alcoholic. Finally, we got everything loaded up and back of that truck, got that old tank seal back up. And the story about the guy we got that from is pretty funny. He was dressed to the max. This Mexican guy, he had black clothes on with these real pointy boat boots. He had jewelry. He was decked out in jewelry. And his mother lived in a shack. That's where we went and got the product, in the shack. And she was cooking tortillas on an open wood stove there. And it just looked so funny, because he had this big brand new truck, and he was dressed all out. And his mother, she was just a poor thing. I'm sure he took care of her very well, as a matter of fact. But anyway, she had dirt floors and everything in there. At any rate, we got everything, the product loaded up. And we get back to the border about 2-3 days later, and Dean puts me in the truck, and he's smart. He got in a cab, and he gets on the other side, and he's over there waiting on me to come across, and he told me to go across the Del Rio Dam. Well, I did what he told me to do. Stupid, foolish me. I got on that dam, and the next thing I know, as soon as I pulled up to that to security there, they on the Texas side, they started pounding on that tank, and I knew immediately this is not going to end well. Well, it didn't. I got caught with the product, 32 pounds of in that tank. I got caught with it, and I didn't tell on Dean. I went to jail. I did the time for it. Dean didn't help me out at all. He didn't bring me anything the whole time I was in there. I spent 5 months in Del Rio County Jail, and then they gave me 3 years, and then they sent me to the Texas, to the CDC, Texas Department of Corrections, and I finished out my time there in Sugar Land, and it was pretty bad. I suffered. My family suffered. Everything about that trip was wrong. I definitely should not have took that up with Dean when he asked me. So, well, that's one of my stories, and I've got more than that too, and I'll probably be getting with you soon to let you have another one. If you like this, please subscribe to me. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. You guys have a great one. Bye-bye.